Alrighty, so it seems that things are not looking good for Disney's Doctor Who. Yes, I said it, Disney's Doctor Who. With what we have seen in the last four specials for the Doctor Who 60th anniversary, we have seen the Disneyfication of the Doctor. Even though the Doctor Who series has already been a sinking ship since the Chris Chibnall era. However, with this new era, with Disney's involvement, we have seen a torpedo being launched at that ship at the bottom of the ocean to blow it into oblivion. A lot of people will try to disagree with that and say that, oh no, Disney's influence on this particular show has been fantastic. It has brought fun to it, because these are the sort of comment that I am seeing when it comes to the positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. A lot of people have been saying, oh, they brought a lot of fun to it. Whatever kind of comment they're giving, they're always saying they brought a lot of fun to it. Well, that is not showing in the general consensus, because the audience is saying, man, this is a trash garbage. Matter of fact, calling it a trash garbage, like I will always say, is an insult to trash garbage. But when you point this out, that Disney's influence and whatever Disney touches turns into shiznit, you get the corporate shields come out and say, you're just nothing but a troll. You're just nothing but an instaphobe. You're not just nothing but a bigot, and all of these nice words that they throw out. However, it seems that the showrunners themselves are starting to identify and see that people are just being turned away due to the fact that Disney has an influence in this particular show. Doctor Who producer says not to worry about Disneyization because of Russell T Davies. Now, the way he's putting it out there, he's actually admitting that the Disneyization of any show is detrimental to that show. And please don't worry about it. Don't go away, you classic fans. Please stay with us, because it's still the same Doctor. And this is not the first article that I am seeing with them trying to convince us that this is the same Doctor that we are seeing from 2005, even though the show itself, if you watch the giggle, the show itself told us that it's going to be a totally different Doctor. Remember when Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor split from David Tennant's Doctor, and David Tennant said, "You're me." David Tennant's Doctor said, "You're me." And he said, "No, I am me. I am really, really me. That means I am not you. I am me. I am a totally different Doctor from all other Doctors that you've known all of this while, because this Doctor is doing things differently." And even Screen Rant admitted that he has done at least two things differently that no other Doctor will ever do. Just go to a club and rave, and also do a musical, which are very, very Disney-like type of things, and focusing on sexuality of the Doctor, with the Doctor talking about spending, a hot summer with Harry Houdini, with the focusing on race swapping of, historical figures like, Einstein. These things are all Isaac Newton, I think, yeah. These things are all Disneyfication of the Doctor. However, they're trying to convince us otherwise. So let's see what this guy had to say in trying to convince us that it is the same Doctor. We've already gone through another, article that tries to draw parallel between this current Doctor and the 2005 Eccleston's Doctor. Well, let's see what this guy has to say. I'm going to go over this article. I'm going to share my opinion as we go along. Feel free to share your opinion in the comment section below. Without further ado, here we go. Doctor Who is returning to our screens very soon, and the executive producer Joel Collins has talked about Disney's involvement in the new era. Outside of the UK and Ireland, fresh episodes of Doctor Who will premiere on Disney Plus, a new development that began with the David Tennant-led special in 2023. But according to Collins, the show is still the same. No, it's not. I've just explained why it is absolutely not. Who we all know and love thanks to the showrunner Russell T Davies' involvement. Are you guys watching the same show as we are? Because something is totally off out here. Now, it goes on to say, quote, "From the Disney's perspective, it's just a bigger audience." No, it's not a bigger audience. 4.6 million is a far cry from the 10 million audience that this thing used to garner per episode. Collins tells SFX magazine in the new issue, which features Halo Season 2 on the cover. So, the show is bigger. No, it's not. But it is the same. No, it's absolutely not the same. And I've told you guys why. It's hard to explain. So, if it's hard to explain, then it's not the same show. So, all of the fear that everyone had, the Disneyization or whatever you call it, that would only happen if it wasn't being made by Russell or by somebody who wasn't as big as a fan as Russell. But this is Russell, who's a bigger fan of Disney than he's a bigger fan of the Doctor Who show. Why would he be a bigger fan of Disney? Because they both have woke agendas in alignment. So you can't tell me that these guys, his own personal agenda would trump his love for the Doctor. If somebody else is putting big money in it, I mean, they are tripling the budget. Disney's tripled the budget. So if they're tripling the budget, you can't tell me that he would not be happy to just bend the knee to the woke, ideologies of Disney, or the ideologies that Disney has been pushing in many of the programs that we have seen sink for many of their IPs that they've taken over. I mean, think about it. When you talk about Star Wars, that's a sinking ship. It turned it to shiznit. When you talk about the MCU currently, turned it to shiznit. When you talk about Indiana Jones, turned it to shiznit. And what about the other IPs that they had personally, besides the one that they bought from Lucasfilm? Their own personal IPs, like, the Willows, the Tinkerbells. What have they done with those shows? What have they done with those movies or those series or those stories? They wokeified every single one of them, and we are seeing them with all their race swapping and gender swapping and focusing on people's sexuality than anything else, than good storytelling. We're seeing it in this Doctor. So it goes on to say, as it turns out, Davies is also inspired by some of Disney's output. Oh my God. So he is inspired by some of Disney's output. So how are you telling us that it is not being Disneyfied? Or there is no Disneyization here? There is Disneyization, obviously. As Collins explained, Russell wanted to bring fun to it. Like I said, a lot of people keep on talking about fun. Like as if that's the only important thing about the show. And like as if the show didn't have fun in it to start with. He just wanted to bring joy into the show and challenge people in all the right ways that Russell does. But also make it fun. Once again, we heard that before at the right points. Make it really fun. We've heard that before again. Take you on a ride. So I think that's where the barrier to entry is removed, because adults and children alike enjoy that. And it's not like, oh, it's just for kids, or oh, it's just for adults. I get all these things that you're trying to say. The show is for everybody, pretty much. It's for kids, it's for adults. I mean, if you're maybe much younger, maybe viewer's discretion, maybe parental guidance or whatever, it falls in the ballpark of the things that Disney should be handling, because it's very similar to Loki. If you guys, think about the show in itself, it's kind of similar to Loki. And Loki takes, copycats from Doctor Who. I think copies a lot of things from Doctor Who, in a way. So it falls in the ballpark of the things that they should be handling. However, if for classic Disney, I think they would have done a better job with it. But this current Disney, as we know it, particularly in the last 4 years, I mean, over the last 10 years when we're talking about Star Wars, but when we're talking about other things like, your MCUs and all their own personal IPs, like your Buzz Lightyear, Toy Story, and where they've taken the direction of all of those things, the Big Hero 6 and so on and so forth. The new Disneys in the past 4 years should not be handling anything, especially anything that kids should be watching. Now he goes on to say that talking about Russell T Davies now, he says, actually he also looked at Pixar films. Who owns Pixar, for goodness sake? So he's telling us that it's not been Disneyized, or we should not be afraid of Disneyization, when you're telling us that the person doing it is actually pushing the Disneyization of this show. Actually, he always looked at Pixar in the way he wanted this to be. Collins continues. So he wanted it to be like a Pixar movie. Who does Pixar work for? Who do they make movies for? Who owns it? Disney. Disney owns Pixar. So you can tell by this whole thing that their ways of doing things are aligned. Like the ways that Russell T Davies wants to do things is aligned with the way Disney wants to do things. Hence why the Doctor Who, pretty much like Indiana Jones, pretty much like Star Wars, pretty much like MCU that has turned into the MCU today, has turned into shiznit. These are my thoughts regarding this. You guys let me know if the Doctor you are seeing today is the same Doctor that you saw with Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, with David Tennant's Doctor, and with Matt Smith's Doctor. You let me know if it's the same, given everything that we have seen, given all the focus that we have seen with the series in the past 4 things. And one more thing, let me include a couple of things that they've made that, to prove that it's Disneyized. They're now breaking 4 walls in the Doctor. And that's very emblematic of what? She-Hulk, breaking the fourth wall. She-Hulk is a property that belongs to what? Disney. So there is also them replacing the Doctor's Comrado, the companion, in Millie Gibson, in Ruby Sunday, with Vereda Satu, a more diverse person, which is very Disney-esque in my own opinion. But you know, I could go on and on and on and on about how they have Disney-fied totally this show that has already been sunk and torpedoed it into oblivion. But I will leave the floor to you now and let me know what you think about this whole thing in that comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, ding that bell for notification, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, peace, and Saya's out of here. Bye-bye. Whoa.